everybody. It's Rochelle from the Memoirs of the Redheaded Hairdresser. So, tonight I have chosen to tell you a story that goes way back. So, this is like 2009, and I'm going to tell you a story about my first boyfriend after my divorce. So, we're going to call this story then the first boyfriend guy. Okay? So I had this really cute girlfriend of mine, and she was actually moving. So she begged me to go out, and this was like shortly after my divorce. And so, of course, I wanted to spend some time with her because she was leaving. And so we went to a local club and we were just sitting outside on the patio having a drink together and chit chatting. And this really cute guy came out and he started talking to me, and he bought me a flaming Dr. Pepper because he's like, "Oh, you'll love it. If you drink Dr. Pepper, you'll love it." And I'm like, "But I don't like beer." He's like, "Oh, you can't even taste the beer." Yeah. It was kind of cool. Like, you drop this shot that's on fire down in this beer, and it's supposed to, like, and then you just drink it and it's supposed to taste like Dr. Pepper. Just FYI, it doesn't. It was not good. But anyways, by the end of the night he had asked for my phone number, and he was super cute. And my friend Sarah was like, "Go for it, go for it." So I really liked him, and we just started seeing each other quite a bit. And um, so I'm going to tell you right now, just kind of like a little hint. This relationship taught me one of the biggest lessons. And I'm going to share that lesson with you at the end of the story. Because I feel like there should always be a lesson. Otherwise, these would be mistakes instead of lessons, right? Okay. So, anyways, um, so we're seeing each other. I'm really liking him. Like, he was kind of like a blonde version of Tim McGraw, like when he was younger. He was super cute. So, anyways, like we started seeing each other, and we went to a poker night at his friend's house, and he warned me on the way up there, and he's like, "Now, just so you know, my friend, he's a bit of a womanizer, and he's probably going to try to hit on you." And I'm like, "Well, good thing for you, I'm not that kind of girl. Because he tries to hit on me, he's going to be sorry." And so we get to this guy's house, and sure enough, he's a total male chauvinistic, like arrogant guy, thinks he's the shit, right? Yeah, no, not this girl. So we're there, and I'm going to share this part of the story with you, and it will open up a whole nother story that I will share with you another time. So I walk in and I meet this girl, and she's there, and I don't even know how we got talking about it, but like we both have this Victoria's Secret thing, and it's like we were wearing the same panties. She like lifted up my skirt. "No way, we're wearing the same ones," and like slapped me on the ass. And yeah, he thought that was hilarious. Well, so come to find out, like that girl was seeing the male chauvinist pig guy, and all night long that guy kept saying things to me, and I'm like, whatever. And I'd make these like rude remarks to him, like totally blow him off. And she came up to me and she's like, "How are you doing that?" And I'm like, "Doing what?" She's like, "You're like immune to his powers." I'm like, whatever. That guy's a jerk. Well, yeah, she was kind of seeing him, so. But anyways, so the end of the night, he's like, "I cannot believe you did that. Like, you shut him down every time he even tried to talk to you." I'm like, that guy's got arrogance coming off of him. Like, ugh, no thanks. So, so we'd seen each other for quite some time, and I introduced him to my kids, and like he took my son up to the lake that's just up the street, and they went fishing together. He brought his four-wheeler and let my daughter drive it all over the field while he was fishing with my son. My son caught his first fish with this guy. It was a bluegill, by the way. It was so cute. It was like this big. And my little boy was holding it up and he's cheesing it. He was so excited. And this guy's like, yeah, this kid's got a great like cast on him. Look at him. He's a natural. And he was so cute with my boy. And my boy was like, gosh, I want to say he was like 5 or 6 back then. And he just loved him. And he was just so cute. And so another thing he did for me is I used to not like coffee. I was raised in a really religious, like LDS family. Even though my parents divorced when I was 8 years old, I was still raised very religious, and I just wasn't raised around coffee. And I have a coffee story, which doesn't really relate, but yeah, I hated coffee. And he would come into my salon and he would bring me a white chocolate from the local coffee shop. I had no idea coffee could taste that good. Like, oh my God, it is amazing. So he'd bring them to me all the time, and he'd just come and sit in the salon and like tell me how cute I was and text me from behind, like, you were so cute, waiting for me to get off so I could go to dinner with him. Or he'd come and like take me to lunch in the middle of the day, or just drive over, bring me a coffee, give me a kiss, and be like, I just wanted to see ya. So I just thought he was the greatest. He was so cute. And so one time I went over to his house and I saw a lot of like female items at his house. I'm like, what's this? And he's like, oh, so my ex hasn't come to get all of her stuff yet. So he's like, there's still quite a few things here. She just, upped and left and didn't take everything with her. So I still have to get her a bunch of her stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, but you are divorced, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're divorced. And then a little while further into the relationship, well, technically we're not divorced yet. We're still in the process. I'm like, okay. Should have been 100% honest about that up front, don't you think? And he's like, I'm not going back to her. Like, she cheated on me with another man. She like left me for another man. She told me this house wasn't good enough for her. She didn't want the pine tree in front. I'm not the man she wants, and left me for another man. His name was Carlos. He's like that Rodney Carrington joke. My name is Carlos. Which makes me laugh because I love that guy. He's hilarious. Anyways, that's besides the point. So we'd been dating for several months, and I just adored him. We'd gone to several parties and different things, and he'd pull me close and he'd kind of push me away, and then he'd pull me close and kind of push me away, and he'd met all my friends, and I really liked him. And then one day I went to his house. He was having a really bad day. And I went to his house and I had made him a spaghetti pie because I love spaghetti pie and I make it really good. So he loved it. So I was like, well, I'll just bring you one. And he's like, well, I've got my daughter, so we can't be like, huggy kissy in front of my daughter. I'm like, yeah, that's no big deal. No problem. So I show up with a spaghetti pie and he was super excited to see me. He's like, thank you so much for bringing me this. Like, that means a lot to me. I'm like, no problem. And his little girl, she was like, I want to say 2 or 3 at the time. And she was just like, hi. And she just ran into my arms and I like picked her up and I'm carrying all over. And she's just talking my ear off, telling me about this and telling me about that. And it was still back when I had my car that I drove right after my divorce. I had it while I was still married to my kids' dad, and it was like my tuner car. It had the great big wing on the back, low profile rims and tires, full body graphics. Yes, I know. I had a little Fast and Furious car. And if I told you what brand of car it was, you would laugh at me. But anyway, I loved it. You could hear it from a mile away. It was so loud. And really, for a little 4-banger, it was pretty fast. I'm just saying. So he she was so cute and she was just like, "Is that your car?" And she was so cute. Oh my god, she was so cute. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I love her. She's adorable." So I get home and he made sure I got home safe and he's like, "Thank you so much for bringing that. That really meant a lot to me." I'm like, "No problem." So, here's the kicker. So, little girl goes home and tells her mom, "I met Daddy's girlfriend." Okay. So, all of a sudden, the cheater, who was supposedly, in the process of divorcing him, decides she wants to make it work for the kid. He called me and he said, "Hey, I know it's not going to work, but I have to try for my daughter." And I told him, "You know what? You do what's best for you. I'll always care about you and I will support you in the choices you make. And if that's what you want, that's what you do. Good luck." And I let him go. It hurt. Oh, it hurt. But I let him go. You'd think that'd be the end of the story, but oh no. They all come back. I'm telling you, they all come back. So it wasn't that long. It was only like a couple of weeks. And he called me crying, said that she had actually been with that guy the whole time, that she had moved in with him and he didn't realize it was that serious between the two, and he just felt so lied to and betrayed, and now he just lost his dog and he can't find his dog, and he was crying. He's like, "And now I just locked myself out of my house and I'm just sitting on my porch with my loaded gun, and I honestly don't even know what there is left to live for. Like, I screwed things up with you." And I'm like, "Don't do anything. Like, just stay on the phone with me. Stay on the phone with me. Let's talk this through. Like, let's talk about your dog." Meanwhile, I am in my car. I am flying to the other side of that mountain. I don't think I ever got to that town that fast in my life. But so I drove over there as fast as my car could get me. I kept him on the phone with me the whole way. Like, "Where do you think your dog could have gone? Like, have you checked here? Have you checked there?" And he's like, "I've looked everywhere. I can't find him." I'm like, "You know what? I'll come help you find him." And he's like, "It's just not worth it. Like, I know you'll never give me another chance. I ruined things with you. I just feel like I've failed everywhere. I've lost my dog. I've lost you. I've lost my family." And I pull up and I ripped that gun out of his hands and I took the bullet out of the chamber and I took the magazine. I'm like, "No, your life doesn't end tonight. Let's go look for your dog." And we drove around and we walked around and we called and we didn't find the dog, but I stayed. I stayed that night and I just held him. I kept that bullet for years because honestly, I don't know if he would have ever gone through with it that night, but it just wasn't a chance I was willing to take. So we started seeing each other again. He's like, "I just don't know how I could have ever gotten such an amazing girl like you." He's like, "You are just absolutely amazing. Your heart is so big and you're understanding." And I was like, "Look, like, I just want you to be happy, whether that includes me or not." And so we saw each other for another, I want to say probably about a month. And then he kind of was acting a little distant. And it was during the state fair. And I called him and he answered, but he was acting really short, like, "Hey, like, I gotta go. I'm with my daughter." And I heard her voice. He's like, "I'll call you later, okay? I gotta go. Bye." I was like, okay. So when he called me later, I'm like, so you were at the fair with your daughter? Yeah. And your wife? Well, yeah. I'm like, okay, look, I am not going to be your dirty little secret. I am not going to be the other woman. If you don't know what you want, I'm not going to be a part of it. I'll help you make the decision. And I walked. Now, the girl from the poker party ended up becoming one of my best friends. We had a 9-year friendship. And the story of our friendship ending is a great one, and I will have to tell you that story in another video. Even though it's not a dating story, you'll understand why I need to tell you. Okay, so anyways, because I knew her, she worked with him. Of course, I heard things. I know a couple of guys that work with him, and I also know that girl. So, not only did he never divorce her, they got back together. And then several years later, they had another daughter together. I can't remember if I've told you guys that I had what I like to call a rebound marriage. That was a mistake. But anyways, and that's another story I will tell you at some point. Okay. So anyways, right around that same time that I can't remember if it was right before he had his second baby or right after, but it doesn't really matter. I was at Sportsman's Warehouse with the rebound marriage guy. And I was in the cutest sundress. And I mean, I'm just saying, I looked pretty good that day. And he was in the store. And oh yeah, he saw me. And he had his little girl with him. And I'm telling you, if his jaw could have hit the floor and put a hole in the floor, it would have. It was just, and I was like, and I know he's probably like, oh, kick in the gut, right? Well, whatever, doesn't matter. Maybe he was happy then, but you could tell on the look of his face. He wasn't happy. So anyways, you'd still think that story would end, but no. So I'm telling you, like literally, not even a year ago. Maybe, no, I take that back. I was still friends with that girl. So it's been easily a year and a half ago. I got a messenger message from someone I'm not friends with on Facebook. Got the friend request and the messenger message coinciding from the first boyfriend guy. So I opened it. Message says, hey, I just wanted to reach out and apologize for the way I treated you a few years back. Like, try 10 years ago. But he told me, he's like, so I got divorced, like for reals, all the way divorced. And I had to get rid of all of my friends. He told me he filed for divorce and that he's really getting divorced this time and he has no friends and he'd really like to be friends with me again. She made him get rid of all of his friends and he doesn't have any friends. And I was really good to him and he'd like me back in his life. And I said, well, when your divorce is 100% final and you have stamped paperwork, maybe I'll let you take me to coffee 3 months after that. And he's like, okay, fair enough. I understand why you wouldn't trust me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not looking to get hurt by you again. I said, I have no problem being your friend. But that's it. There'll be nothing more. And he said, okay, but if you're ever needing someone to fill your sexual needs, I'd really like to be that guy. Are you kidding me? You dated me for how many months back then? And you didn't know that I wasn't that kind of girl? And you just think because I know you that I'm going to compromise myself for someone who screwed me over? Yeah, thanks, but no. Uh, Not just no, that's hell no. No, no. No, no. So, moral of the story, the lessons that you learn through dating. And, obviously I learned them older instead of younger because I married the high school sweetheart right out of high school. Don't, and I mean absolutely under no circumstances, don't get involved with someone who says they're getting divorced. Yeah, no. If you're not 100% available, you're not 100% able to be in my life, so you're not going to be in my life. Thank you, but no. So that was the big lesson I learned there. It's easily, and I mean easily, 6 months to a year after the finalization of a divorce before a man is ready for a relationship. Because I'm telling you right now, there's the playing phase after a divorce, and almost everyone goes through it. And if you're not wanting to be a part of that phase, wait. Make sure that you put yourself on that higher level if that's what you're looking for. Love you guys. If you like this story, please subscribe. See you soon.